commentary.
Up until recently, probably the number one thing about life on this planet, humanity all the way down to tadpoles, is how am I getting enough food to survive?
Right.
And so in recent years, we've gotten so luxurious, and we've gotten, I guess, from a spiritual aspect, we're so blessed that's like way, way, way down on the totem pole of things we need to worry about. So that really is, that and procreation, and I guess safety in the form of a family unit and shelter is like it for humanity, as far as the biological aspect of life. And so we've just gotten so fat and happy and blessed that we go to a place and we have selection. It's not like, okay, there's a deer, now I got to figure out how to take it down so I can eat for a couple days. Now we go in there and we're like, no, I don't like that. That's too much pepper. Or, no, I don't like that. I don't like the way it tastes. And don't get me wrong, I love it. I love the blessings, and I love the fact that we have it this good. Okay, so we have really tumultuous time in human history right now because of the last 7 years of this administration and because of the division. And, terrorism has gotten to a really unique and dangerous place across the world. Anti-Christian sentiment and violence against Christians is all over the world right now. It's just a hotbed. You can find hot pockets. This world is just basically, for all intents and purposes, it really, really is on fire. But I'm sure throughout human history, there were times, especially with the Cold War and things like that in more recent history, World War II, where people who were living at that time felt like there's two groups of people, most of them being in the middle, but two extremes, which is this is it, this is the end, we're seeing the end. Then people who are just nonchalant, we don't need to worry about it, we'll be fine. And then, of course, the people in the middle who probably felt both ways at certain times. But I think that the reason it's different now is because we have a government that's actively trying to destroy this country. It's division within, it's division without, and then you got the apathy. So I really do think we're at sulfur raining down from heaven, Sodom and Gomorrah, or many, many other times in human history where the culture is just wiped out, or the whole civilization fails, and you actually are left with dealing with the consequences of that. And I think that's where we're right there. And I don't know that it can.
I agree.
The ship can be turned around.
In previous times, you could say there was real foreign policy problems, or there were real cultural problems, there were real racial problems. But if you think of it as a chair, think of those problems as like a leg of the chair. Despite your politics, if you think about the world you're living in right now, like as you see Ferguson, and as you see social unrest, and as you see division among people, think of that as a leg of a chair. So unity is certainly required to be able to pull yourself out of very dire circumstances, right? Unity in people is the only way to be able to do that. Well, certainly that's been eroded. And then you think of prosperity, like think of times of old, you have the king's treasury or the coffers or whatever the case may be. If you want to helicopter those sort of fairy tale models into our society, that's completely depleted. That's all farce. That's all fictitious. And then you think about the enemies at your gates, people that are meaning you harm. That's certainly happening. I mean, without a doubt, that's happening. And you also have this sort of snake in the grass, which I think is the final straw, and that Rome's a wonderful analogy. People overuse it, but Rome basically, crumbled from within. It was the first time we had seen that, with a bunch of different versions of what happened to people in the past, where they're fat, like you were alluding to, fat and apathetic. I think that's true. And I think pain purges, and we're at the point, we've spoken about this ad nauseum, but we're at the point where the only thing that can snap us back, like the only cold water, if you will, the only awakening, remedy is pain. And I've never been more convinced of that. I do not look at that as a reason for me to quit, which might strike people as hypocritical, because I think you're still responsible for your personal existence on this earth. And what are you supposed to do with that? You're supposed to glorify God. You're supposed to bring His kingdom further. You're supposed to fight for justice, be courageous, and love people. And so it doesn't get you out of jail. Like, I don't like that part of doomsdayism, where it's like, oh, well, throw my hands up and wait for the great last days. I don't like that stuff. Yeah. But at the same time, I really do think that the people that speak as though we got a real issue going on are not foolish or kooky or out on a limb, although they're always made to look like that. I think if you're a reasonable person and you actually think about things today, now conspiracy theory is just meant to alienate anybody who speaks. Yeah,
another weapon. The Pandora's box open. It reminds me of the third X-Men movie where Magneto creates this big war. And when things really go bad, he said, what have I done? What have I done? I realized that I needed to rile these people up, but now the monster's turned on us, and we're in a really bad situation.
Fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
It's the United Socialist States of America. Now, here's your change.
Is America a racist country?
Yeah.
Totally racist?
Hell yeah.
To the bone.
You racist.
Why?
Because you white.
If I'm white, I'm racist?
Yeah.
Could a black person be racist?
Nope.
It's impossible for a black person to be racist?
Yep.
But if you hate white people, does that make you racist?
We don't hate white people. Y'all the devil.
We not racist. Your kind racist, though.
Under my plan, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket. That will cost money. They will pass that money on to consumers.
Stupid political decisions.
CourageCoach.net.